Dart the duckling. Dart the duckling. 小野鸭达特，雅思。我会讲比较长哦。Dart was a very special duckling. He had shiny green feathers and short legs. Although he could swim faster than other ducks, Dart couldn't fly. His wings were too short and small. 达特是一只很特别的小野鸭，它有着闪烁绿色光芒的羽毛，短短的脚掌，划水的速度比其他的野鸭还快。可是达特却怎么也飞不起来，因为它的翅膀长得又短又小。Dart could often look up into the sky and say, if I could be like the others and fly in the sky, then everything would be just great. Candy, standing by his side, encouraged Dart, wait until you grow up and you will be able to fly. 秋天的风冷飕飕地吹落树枝上的叶片。达特望着天空说：“如果能像其他的野鸭一样，在天空翱翔，那有多好！”
太多了。
鼓励达特说：“等你长大就可以飞了。” While the other ducks were preparing for their trip south, Dart grew sadder and sadder. He said to Candy, "Everyone is about to fly to a warmer place. I will be the only one left here for winter." Candy his short wings and said, "If you want, you can live with us for the winter." 野鸭们都在收拾旅行装备，这更加难过。他告诉糖糖说，大家都要飞到温暖的地方啊，温暖的南方，对不对？要往南飞了，只有我不能飞，怎么办？糖糖拉着它短短的翅膀说，如果你愿意，可以住在我家过冬天啊。Upon arriving home, Candy ran into the kitchen and asked, "Can Dart come to stay with us for the winter?" Her mother answered as she was baking the bread. "Of course he can, but can you take care of him?" Candy nodded very vigorously. "Yes, I'm already grown up." Her mother's eyes squinted as he laughed. Oh. 糖糖回到家里，急忙跑到厨房问妈妈说：“我想邀请达特来我们家过冬天，好吗？”妈妈一边烤面包一边回答：“当然可以，可是你可以照顾他吗？”糖糖用力的点点头说：“会呀，因为我已经长大了。”哦，妈妈笑着眯起了眼睛。Meanwhile, Dart's mother and father were worrying about Dart. Flying to the south is our traditional, and we had better set off soon, said Dart's father, Mr. Cooper. But what about Dart? Asked Mrs. Cooper. Mr. Cooper sighed and shook his head. If we don't leave now, we won't make it in time. 果然，达特的爸爸和妈妈正在为这件事而烦恼。往温暖的南方飞翔是野鸭家族传统的习惯，我们得要快点准备了。野鸭爸爸古伯说：“啊，达特怎么办？”古伯太太急得不知道怎么样才好。古伯叹了一口气，摇摇头说：“可是我们再不出发，恐怕就来不及了。” Dart heard what they were saying and went in to say to them, "Don't worry. Candy invited me to stay at her house for the winter." Upset and teary-eyed, Mrs. Cooper hugged Dart and said, "I'm sorry, my child." 爸爸和妈妈说的话正巧全被达特听见了。他走进去告诉爸爸：“你们别担心，糖糖邀请我去他家过冬。”古伯太太难过的掉下眼泪，紧紧抱住达特说：“对不起，我的孩子。” Finally, the time to fly south arrived. Crying Mr. and Mrs. Cooper embraced Dart. "Spring will come soon," Dart murmured to himself. 终于，南飞的时刻到了。古伯和太太紧紧抱住达特，泪水不停地涌出来。春天很快来吧，会很快来的。达特低着头喃喃地说。Dart cried too as he watched his parents leave. Candy pat him on his shoulder and said, "Don't worry, I will be with you." Not long after, tiny snowflakes to fall. Winter had arrived. 望着父母远去的背影，达特的眼泪也流个不停。汤汤拍拍他的肩膀说：“别担心，我会陪着你。”不多久，天空开始飘起一朵朵的小雪花。啊，冬天来了。At night, everyone gathered around to listen to Candy's sister tell a story. Dart couldn't help but think of his mother. Suddenly, they heard someone knocking at the door. It was Mr. and Mrs. Cooper. "Oh, Daddy, Mommy!" Dart cried out and rushed to embrace them. 晚上，大家围在一起听姐姐说故事。达特不禁想起温柔的母语。突然，外面响起阵阵急促的敲门声。原来是古伯先生，他们回来了。啊，爸爸妈妈！达特欣喜地大声喊道，立刻扑进爸爸妈妈温暖的怀里。In order to be with Dart, Mr. and Mrs. Cooper decided to stay. Despite the harsh harshness of the cold outside. The house was full of warmth and laughter. 为了陪伴达特，古伯先生和太太决定留下来。在这个寒冷的冬天，屋子里却充满了温暖的笑声。Dart the duckling. Duckling 是小鸭子的意思。Dart duck duckling